Good morning. So I know it's extremely early. I know some I needed to get started. We just have so much to do and we want to just fun things. But this is the ghostly greetings. If you purchase ghostly greetings, you can make this. You can make this with any paper. But I've already done the tutorial for the album, which is kind of like a replacement for G-45s. If you got the kit, a lot of them were broken, so I did go through a tutorial. And I'm actually going to use the brown one I made because I think brown will be just fine. And also, if you are following the instructions, you're going to notice mine's different, but Graphic 45 did their own video, so you definitely can follow either one. I did do a semi walkthrough the other night. When I do the matting, so it's going to be, my sizes are going to be a little different if you're using the Graphic 45 pre-made album. This is the one that I created in the tutorial if you had problems with the other one. And I did do my decorations different. Where we had so much paper, I added a few different things, and I just felt that I wanted to do a little more coverage in the papers. And so let's just do this little walkthrough. Made a booklet from the papers. I just love them. This was, this I have to say is probably the best. I thought the best. I do like Primas, but this is the best. And again, I got some differences here. Then you're going to see, so you can follow either one. You don't have to follow either. I mean, you can do your own. That's what's fun about the scrapbooking, is that you don't have to, with these pre-made albums, you can use them for anything. So I'm just getting the link out there again. Okay, so what we're going to do, and I'm going to add a few different things. And chipboard. So I'm going to show you. If you have your album, it's going to be almost the same size. One thing I added was a lightweight chipboard. I added it to the back of our graphic. The graphic is so cute. I just didn't want it to, get smashed in. So if you have a lightweight chipboard, even a cereal box, something that will give this a little bit more weight. And for the one I'm creating now, I'm going to add some of our mirror cardstock from Craft Perfect. And there I am. Hello. It really is mirror. I'm going to be using a sheet of this on the cover. I just felt it needed a little bling. Then in your kit, you would have had your ghostly greetings. And then you'd have your rub-ons, which I did use. I ended up using all of them. Some, it's really hard to see unless you actually have the book. And there's a lot of rub-ons out there. And I'm not just telling you this. I love theirs. They're like a satin. And it doesn't have any of the sticky glue after. But I put the ghosts and the moon so you can barely see it. And I did go through and I did add it to my white. Oh, and I added white matting cardstock. So we'll see how it goes on time this morning. These are all rub-ons. If I don't add the white matting, I will give you those measurements. Okay. And I hope you guys have your coffee, and those of you just watching, because it does show me you guys are out there. Say good morning. And it's okay if you're shy and don't want to. That's a rub-on. Just loved it. But it feels very satiny, very pretty. I've always loved their rub-on since they came out with them with that fall collection, 2 years ago. Okay, let's just get started. I'll keep him handy in case I need to go back and look. We won't need these right now. Let's just do our matting. And then you're going to have 2 sheets of cardstock plus solids. Uh-oh. I have a couple of solids here. Okay, I'm going to need that. The main solid I want is a black. And I want to show you something. After I did the matting, I had all of this left. So that's why you're going to have a lot more left if you follow their instructions. Good, I have theirs. I ended up with tons of stuff. Tons of ephemera, which super cute. Not a ton of the rub-ons, because I ended up using almost all of them, because I love theirs. And so I'll keep that handy. So I got everything except for the coordinating solids that came, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to follow their instructions. I did kind of follow some instructions, so you feel free to just play along or follow their instructions. So I need my hoodie. I'm going to use the hoodie from Catherine Pooler. Oh, it's going to be time for some clean rags, and I forgot to grab some. Sorry, guys. I should have been more prepared. It's kind of early in the morning here. I'm on mountain time. And I'm really not used to these early morning tutorials. And to be honest with you, I wasn't going to do the tutorial, but then I had a lot of requests because I did do mine different. So these are just the flour sack towels I get at Amazon. And I cut them because they're so big. Then I actually cut it in half again. They wash well, but if you don't serge them, you don't have a serger, you do have to cut them each time you wash them. So I just grabbed some new ones. They last forever. Lint free. They're so great. Just go over to Amazon. Okay, now we can get started. Now that I've got, if you made your own album, the tutorial, go to my lives. There are a few back. Our cover is 7.5 by 7.5. And I am going to start with my cover. And I am using the same papers that they used. So the first one that I'm going to cut, and we're going to use the back, is your Spooky Floral. And I'm cutting mine 7 3/8 by 7 3/8. Is anyone else up crafting this early with me? I mean, for me, this is early. I'm usually getting things ready for the store. See, and I think the brown looks great. So there's our 7 3/8 by 7 3/8. So the next piece in your instructions, it does tell you to cut the solid black. But what I'm going to do, because we're going to use this, and I want to cut this away, and I don't want to cut the matting for behind it yet. And actually, I'm going to have a silver, and then I'm going to have the black solid that they used in there in the kit. So for right now, I'm just going to cut off those strips. And I am trying to preserve, you know, the dots that they used as their line. I love it. And we're going to come down here to these dots. I didn't leave that on. Okay. Now, this part, this is kind of considered another cut apart. Well, hi, Linda. Yes, we're early this morning. And the size it came out to be was 6.5 by about 6 5/8. So I'll try and stay with that, because you do want, but I think I'm going to go a little bit bigger. I want to try and keep some of those dots in there. And Like I said, if you're just joining me and you have if you have the kit, I'm not really following the kit. So we have enough room. They cut theirs a little bit smaller. I'm going to leave mine at 6 3/4 by 6 3/4 because it kind of looks fuller. If that makes sense. So I know now that this is 6 3/4. I'm just going to set it over on my album. So I'm going to take Nightscape. Hi, Diane. Oh, it's all about the bones. I haven't seen you guys in a while, so this is a treat. So I'm going to cut the black at 7 by 7. So this was the kit, but if you purchased the paper, any of the G-45, you can use it. This is the album that came. Now I'm going to add the chipboard here. So that just gives me a little bit of a background. We're going to have the orange. We're going to have that. Now, this is where I want to bring in the silver. So I've cut this 7, and I really don't want to lose a lot of the orange. So I may end up cutting these guys down. In fact, I think we're going to have to, so that I can add, sorry about the noise. I've had knee surgery. I'm sure we all have. It really stinks. So you need a break, I know. Okay, this is just our mirror cardstock from the Craft Perfect online. And I just cut the black at 7 by 7. So I'm just going to cut the silver by 7 by 7. So we're going to do some trimming of our others. And also, if you're just joining, this paper, this kit, you can follow the graphic 45 instructions, but mine is different. Okay, 7 3/8 by 7 3/8 is the orange. 7 by 7 is going to be the black, silver. So this black, I'm going to cut it down. Good morning, Sheila. I'm going to cut this down to 6 3/4 by 6 3/4. So I am going to have to trim this up a little bit because we're going to go 6 1/2, but I want to keep it symmetrical. Well, maybe not so symmetrical. I really don't want to lose the jagged edges. Okay. So there we go. 6 1/2 by 6 1/2. I think I'll take it more off the bottom. You could also take a tool and scuff up those edges. Okay, that looks good. Orange is 7 3/8 by 7 3/8. Silver is the 7 by 7. The black, 6 3/4 by 6 3/4. And this came out 6 1/2 by 6 1/2. Let's see what our layers look like. See, I love the silver. It's got to have that little touch of silver. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's ink all our edges. We're going to actually put this on because I found it was just easier. So I'm going to use the hoodie ink. Oh, and I'm going to add the chipboard here in just a minute. The lightweight chipboard. We're going to put it on the back, and that's going to get popped up. Yeah, it's really a cute little album. And if you don't have the pre-made is going to be by your own risk. We've had to do a lot of remaking. So I did the video. You can make your own. And then you can do your matting. Now, I know that if you're not a Halloween person, that's okay. But I just thought this was cool. It had such an eerie but pretty, yeah, stunning. Okay, this is 6.5 by 6.5. So I'm going to create a piece. Let's just go 6 by 6. And the whole purpose is to give this strength so we don't see that, so it doesn't push in, because if you want to store this, and I already have photos to put in it, so I'm hoping getting this done early I can go back and then put photos in and show you guys. I always have good intentions, right? Okay, that's going to go down on the graphic, and I did, just in case you won't really see it, but I did put some black on the edges. And we're just going to center it. And then we're going to have foam tape on this. So we won't put this piece on till the very last. And it's really a quick little album. It's even quicker if you buy it pre-made. But I just prefer my own. Don't we scrapbookers, you guys, don't we get kind of picky in our old age? And I want the good paper. So when you see the tutorial, I've used our new velvet brown vellum. Now see, this is nice and firm. And it's going to be even more firm when I add my foam strips on there, which we'll do later. So now I can just open my book and let's put our layers down. Then we'll go ahead and we're going to mat the whole cover before we start working. Comes together really quick though. See, that orange and brown look really good together. And I actually woke the dogs up extremely early. So you probably hear them all snoring in unison. They're not used to me getting up at 5:30 in the morning. They were like, Mom. So we're going to go with the silver, then the black. Okay. It will scratch, but we really need to get the glue smeared. And then my piece of black gives just a little bit of spookiness behind there. Make sure there's no bumpy pieces back there. This is going to be a little slippery, so hang on to it till you get everything burnished down. Okay, that will take a little extra time to dry because of the slipperiness. And then when we're all finished, we'll add our foam tape, and this is going to sit in the center. So you can just set that aside for right now. Let's go ahead and do the hinge. Now, again, measure or go by your instructions if you're using the G-45 kit. But if you made your album, these were 1 1/8 by 7.5. And so the pieces that we just cut, they're going to be the perfect length. And then on the back, hi Vicki, I didn't see in the instruction sheet that they put something on the back, and I may have just missed it, but I used this sheet, which you have plenty of paper in the kit. So this is 1 1/8, and this one was 1 inch if you followed the tutorial. Otherwise, go by their measurements. So I cut it at 1 1/8 and then 1 inch, just a hair short. Oh, and then on the inside, I did change it. So if you are following, again, your instructions, then you can go ahead and cut. But because we laid down our waterfalls, your hinge is going to be just a little bit different. And I just did strips, but I did use a different cardstock for the inside. Okay, let's check our fit, just make sure we don't have to trim. And we can ink our edges and then glue it down. So I have a few people that think I'm doing this tonight. I need to message them because I got lots. We've got Simple Stories here is the problem. Their event is starting. No, it's not a problem. I take that back. I just love seeing everybody coming in. Some of them I got to see in October at the retreat. Now they're back. But I didn't want to miss doing this with you. Hi, Terry. So, and you know what? It's kind of fun this early in the morning. I can actually open my blinds now. We have some light and rain. So if you are here for the Simple Stories event, welcome to rainy Utah. It was raining all night. Nothing like filling the reservoirs in one day. Well, hi, Connie. Okay, let's cut that back sheet. And we're going to cut it from, well, you can use any one you want. This is so cute. Love the greens. Get that back. And we're going to cut this at 7 3/8 by 7 3/8. just let me move this really quick. My cut pieces. Try not to cut the ghost in half. You know what we do? We do Halloween, but we don't do Halloween. Does that make sense, Connie? I mean, we decorate. I do love it, and I love the colors. We don't do the more. Okay, like I was in the nail studio, and some of the girls getting the blood splotches, and I'm like, okay, we don't do that because to me that's just gross. And I told them, you know what? I used to work in an OR. And I used to get that on my hands naturally, so they thought it was so cool. These young girls, that's nothing. Okay. Yes, but I just love the fall season. So I just love everything that comes with it. Yes. Oh yeah. I'm not. We talked about this the other night. In fact, we kind of in the last live for little celebrations we were saying we were doing some scary stories. I'm like, I don't do scary stories. Scary. And we were all telling the story about the horror movies. Some of them just love the horror movies. I'm like, no, I'll be having nightmares. And when I was 15, 15, Exorcist come out, and everybody at school was going to see it. Everybody, but me, because my parents were like, nope. But I kept begging, and so my dad's like, he told my mom, let's take her. My mom just about had a coronary in the aisle. My dad just sat there watching me. I was like, I had no idea. And I have never seen a scary movie since. A scary movie. There is no way. Chucky and all them, I ain't doing that. In fact, there's some things my husband won't even let me watch. And I'm 62 years old. He'll be like, no, you need to leave the room. He watches, those war movies and shooting. But he'll be like, there was even some parts of historical ones. He's like, no, you better leave. Because he knows he'll be having to hear me scream at night. Well, Connie, don't go. Trust me. It's not something. Now I can see why my mother had a fit. And my dad's like, well, and that was, back then. He's like, you need to learn. You just need to learn. Take her and let her see it. And it cured me for life. Good morning, Diane. Okay, this is where I did a little different. I added this because we got to use these cut aparts. They were darling. So what we're going to do first, you'll need a piece of cardstock from your stash, or if you created this with me. I've got some brown that I'll use. I have a piece left over, and I am using this one, the Spooky. So I will cut it first so that we can see what size cardstock. I'm going to take that little Spooky Greetings off because it's cute. And I ended up using all of these. These two, I keep these two together because I popped those into a pocket. If you want. I popped them in the back of our one pocket. So I want to just use, but you have two of these. And they really didn't use this paper. And what I'm doing is just cutting off the polka dots to match so it looks symmetrical. Then we'll get our measurement and we'll cut our brown cardstock. Mine measures about 3 3/8. Oh, cool, by 4 1/2. So I'm going to trim a little bit more off to bring it down to 3 3/8. And now I'm going to trim it down to bring it to 3 1/2. Because it needs to match. So I did it at 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. So I will cut this at 5. I may trim it, but let's go with 5 by 4. Oh, it's actually 3 1/4. So do measure yours if you're doing this. We need a 1/2 inch hinge. Let's cut it at 4. Better safe than sorry. So 4 by 5. And I'm just going to scored it. Probably not big enough, but I scored it at 3 1/2 or 1/2 inch. Cute, Diane. Oh, okay. My width is fine, but it looks like I made it too long, which I had a feeling. So let's cut it down to 4 3/4. I'll be honest with you. I think I'm going to make one with that too. And that's one reason I'm live this morning. I really need to get caught up so I can make some. Plus, we got a big class Thursday and Saturday, and many of them class at the store. Beginners I'm teaching. So, and you know, I think that looks just great with the brown. Now, the back side, I know now what size to cut the matting for the back side. And I used a piece of the little bats. Okay. The bats came from the other piece of this one. So we want to cut the same thing, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Let me use that side for a photo. I'm going to mount this before I put it on the book. Now that I put it down, I was thinking I have that silver piece left over. I should have matted it with that, but that's okay. I will have other opportunities. So that would have been cute there. What did you just get in the mail? Was it your Seasons of Creativity? And just remember, you can use your the cute little doodle bug. You can use all those pretty plaids and stuff on the back. Lots of cute projects with this Seasons of Creativity box. Okay, grab your book. When you open your cover, this I didn't put it at the bottom because the matting, and I didn't put a magnet or anything on it, but it needed something there for me. Another spot for a photo. So I put it about an eighth of an, not even an eighth, about a 16th of an inch from the left side, and then the bottom. So when I do the matting, it'll just line up where it's supposed to. Okay, now this cover was the smaller. The inside, it's 7 3/8. No, we did it 7 1/4. So it is 7 3/8. No, 7 1/4 would be 7 1/8 by 7 3/8. And the paper that I used was directional. So you want to check your directional. I love this one. This is hide and seek. Like I said, I did try to kind of stick with some of the things the original instructions used. So 7 1/8 will be the width, and then 7 3/8 will be your length. Okay. Okay, I have to put this in here, guys. So if some of you are watching this and I made your album, I did have to make some for a few because we had them at the store and they were just, we went through 3 4 albums, and this poor lady, I could not, there wasn't one that I could give her. They were broken, that came in the kit. You will see the score tape. Please remove that if you have one that I made for you. And these, see, you can make these pretty quick. The album parts, or you can purchase them from other places, from G-45. But I made mine. So this is the back side we'll use on our spines on the inside. It's not, it was, but we wanted to get that in the kit so that you guys could try it. I've used it. I used some of it, but you know what? It wasn't sticking as well to the chipboard as art glitter glue. So I do have both brands on my desk. This one takes a little bit longer to dry. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't had any trouble shipping art glitter glue because we do, and we need to get that organized. We do put a warming pad in, you know, the hand thingies that keep it warm while it's shipping, and then we ship it priority instead of UPS, so it gets there quicker. But a lot of you I know love Fairly Art glue, so I wanted to put it in for you guys to try because it's a good glue. It's almost the same, sort of. For me, it takes too long to dry. And it didn't stick on the chipboard as well. Well, it took a long time to dry. And I'm impatient. I need it to dry now. Okay. So that's done. And now we're going to go ahead and mat the pocket. And this is how I do it. Let's take, so I used the back side. I wanted to use these stripes. I just pop that in my pocket. The instruction sheet left it plain. We have been doing it because we've just had some customers that are like, I have to have it, and I know it's cold, so we've been putting the hand warmer packs in there. Okay, now I can go ahead and cut out on the line. Well, thank you, Connie. It's so good to see you. Did you get the boys off to school? And now you have a little me time? Or do they homeschool? I did some homeschooling. Now I just homeschool myself in the world of crafts. That's what my husband says. Oh, fall break already? Oh, goodness. Okay, to be honest with you, I really can't see that, so I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to cut the green. So we've got that one cut. The green is on the back of your... No, hold on. Maybe I used it from... If you have your kit... Can't remember if there was a green. No, it's different. The green one is a little bit different, so I did use that. But we have two. Seven and 3/8 is going to go on the inside by 7 and 3/8. Yeah, we may have to trim because of the pocket. That was expected. But I'm just going to take a 1/16 of an inch off of each side to start with. Well, in a way, that can be nice too when you don't have them both home at the same time to fight. Okay. So I need to make sure what it is, see, I'm getting too close to this hinge here. Okay, so we'll just take it down to 7 1/4. The length I'm going to keep the same that I just cut. It's my width. I'll take it down to 7 1/4. We'll try that. Because it all depends on the placement of your pocket. Come on, slide in there. Much better. Okay. I can bring it just a little closer. I'll glue that in just a minute. Now I can see that I need to do a little trimming here. And I like to take it from the back side and the bottom, and I'm just taking 1/16 of an inch off before I put it down, and we'll check it. Otherwise, if you cut off too much, nope, that's perfect. Okay, get that down, put the green, and then see it comes together pretty fast, especially when it's a pre-made album. Kind of nice. Of course, I made my album. Many of you did make your albums. But once it's made, it comes together. Well, Diane, I hope you love it. I know that, you know, we tried a couple of different things, but I've gone back to what I started the Seasons Creativity on. Sometimes trying new things is okay, but we got back to what the Seasons of Creativity box is. And I think you're going to love it. It's also fun to have something to work over the months. So don't feel like you have to get everything done at once. Sometimes we do, because you can access everything in the group, and you have plenty of time before the February box ships. Of course, I don't know about you, but we're going to have some busy crafting with the holidays coming. Smear the glue everywhere. Get that. Oh, but we're going to put down matting, so we're okay. What's a little bit of glue? Sure our glue is down and not sticking the pocket down. Should have a magnet on the inside of that pocket. Okay. Now let's do our little page. And the page does measure 7 inches by 7 1/4. And for the front, I used Citaspell. And then for the back, I used the other pumpkin. So we're just going to cut them both. And this is the colorful pumpkin, but it is called Hanging Pumpkins. Oh, what fun! Will ship out. Okay. It should ship out the 31st. I'm looking over here. It's going to ship out the end of October. And then our Oh What Fun virtual retreat will start Wednesday the 13th. So, yes, you are going to be busy. And oh my gosh, Diane, the projects are so stinking cute. Okay, let me get the width here again, because didn't I tell you it was 7? Because now you got me excited about the Christmas kit. Yes, it is 7. So let's cut a 6 7/8. It's always super fun. By 7 1/8. And let's cut this one. And the virtual retreats, you know, it's super fun because that's where we do games and prizes. And 6 7/8 by 7 1/8. Connie, you mean for in person or virtual? Oh, you guys, did I just cut that wrong? I did. I cut it 5 7/8. So I'll use that one for something else. I wasn't paying attention. Our team has a planning meeting on November 2nd. So we will be planning. Okay, let me cut this real quick. 6 7/8 by 7 1/8. We have a planning meeting. That's right. You have to do virtual. We have a planning meeting for all of the events for next year. So everything will be announced on November 15-ish during the virtual retreat. Okay. We will have all of that 2026 schedule. We're trying to be super organized. Okay, what are we stuck on here? Oh, underneath there. Okay. So my first one, I chose the back. So hopefully my camera won't start screaming. And what I'm going to do, this is what I like to do, how I like to cut that hole. First, I'm going to lay my page down. Well, don't forget, you can use a firm and those other things with virtual retreats. Okay. Or you can always talk to me. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to draw that half circle. And then with the same punch that I used. So you want to take it down a little past what you drew so that you have that little bit of space side to side. Well, actually, you know, all around the 3 sides. Sometimes I have to repunch a little bit. Diane, I know, and I need to make that with you guys because that would be fun. Okay, what I'm going to do is lay this down and look at it. It looks like I don't have a space here, so I want to take a little bit more off. So I'm just going to move it down a little bit. Actually, I'll go over to this side just a hair. There we go. And I just keep trimming it till I have a little bit of a border so the brown shows. I know, though, for sure, we're only having the one in person. the rest will be virtual because one thing I'm really trying to do too is not bombard you with a lot of events. Because you guys, I know it sounds crazy coming from a business. I don't want you to have buyer's remorse and spending so much money and not getting your projects done that you don't want to shop for regular stuff. And then you're like, why did I buy all these kits? Because I've been there. And we have ladies that come into the store. And I'm like, no, you can't buy anything more. You come in on Mondays when I'm here. We're going to sit down and make the projects you bought. Because they're like, oh, I have fear of missing out. Yes. But you know what? You're going to miss out a whole bunch more if you spend all your money. And then I'm going to feel terrible because that's not what my goal here is. I know I'm weird. My husband says I'm crazy. But it's no fun because I've been there with quilting. And then I had to give away all my fabric. And I'm like, why did I do with this and spend all this money? That's not the goal here. Our goal is, oh, thank you, Connie. Well, I'm blessed with you guys. Our goal here is that we have fun. We don't take out bank loans for it. I mean, there's some things I even have to say no to. There's a lot of things, actually. And that's okay. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here with this pumpkin piece. I want you to buy my stuff. Don't get me wrong, because then we can buy more new stuff and bring it in for you, but I don't want you stressed over it. Then it's no fun. Okay, grab your paper clips. I'm kind of that way with beagles. If I had more money, I'd buy more beagles. Exactly, Connie. Okay, I do want to make sure it's straight because we want to cut it. You know what we're going to do, Diane? I did this years ago. That was one thing in the planning, is a craft room organizing. I know there's a lot of others out there, but because you have grandkids, you can also relate. You can't do it all at once. And the way I did it is we did a weekly. We started by cleaning our desk. Very step by step. Silly, but it works. So we're going to be doing that. Everything from cutting our scraps of paper to a certain size and storing them and getting rid of the rest. And you can do it with the grandkids there. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. I am going to take it down a little bit. Experience from the front page tells me I needed to go down a hair. But we really can't do it till we get our Christmas projects done. It's just not, it's not reality. In the quiet hours of January, before I start my December daily, is when I like to do that. Okay, let's take a hair off more. Another great organizer is Tiffany. So maybe I can get her to help us. I'm just going to take a hair off. Don't really want it off the bottom. I just want it off the sides. Uh-oh. It doesn't want to cut that. So let me cut from this side. Perfect. One important thing about your craft room. I know you guys want to save paper and you want to keep it and you want to use it. But unless it's this big, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to use it and you need to train yourself. Throw it in the garbage. Okay? And there's a way to organize the other stuff so you know your sizes and you're not banging your head against the wall trying to decide what to keep. Just train yourself. Throw it away. Now, Tiffany would disagree with that. I throw it away. Yes, and you know what? When you think about those scraps, how long have they been sitting in that box? How many times have you gone back and used them? You haven't. So I'll start making boxes again, and I also have a high school and a junior high that wants some scraps for their art class. And so find a place to donate. Deborah, this is one I made. If you purchase the G-45 Ghostly Greetings album kit, this is also my rendition of decorating. It is different than what the kit came with, a little bit different. But we made our own album because a lot of them were broken. And so mine's brown. I did this one in black. And this is my sample one, but oh, I love it so much. So I'll have one in the store. So now that's done. And then we can do the matting for our brown, the insert. So I used the orange. And I'm just going to take my corner punch. See, or a card design. Absolutely, that's perfect. But after that, don't keep it. Throw them away, guys. Throw them away. I know it's hard, but once you get in habit. So I had cut mine 6 by 7 1/4. Again, put it in, see how yours fits. 6 by 7 1/4, and I'm going to use this orange piece, which is your coordinating, and it's called Pumpkin Orange. So I'm going to cut 5 7/8, and if you don't want to use your pattern, you could use white on the back, but I used the orange on one side and the pattern on the other. Yes, it's on my YouTube in live. Just go to my live tab and it says album remake. And let's go ahead and cut this at, let's try 7 1/8. It's the album remake, and I made the album with you guys. Perfect. Again, measure yours. It could be different. Why did I put that away? So I'm just going to corner punch it over the garbage can, which I don't know why, because it just flicked out and onto the floor. Cute, cute, cute. Lots of photo space. I think my hoodie needs to be refilled. So let me get out a little darker. So I'm going to use the Midnight. Catherine Pooler Midnight. Because this is a newer ink pad. I need to re-ink everything. See, it's quite a bit darker. It's amazing. So maybe I won't use that. Um, the hoodie is dark, but this is pretty dark. Great for stamping too. Now we're going to be, I'm going to use the Graphic 45 Christmas, and we're going to do a class in the store with this album style. So that one is going to come in a kit. When I get that one done. There it is. I'm telling you, there was enough paper in this kit. So if you just start with 2 sheets, you're going to have plenty of sheets left over that you actually could make another one, matting it different. Okay, pop that inside. It's waterfall time, so what I'm gonna do so we can get the decorating done. Yes, Diane, I sure will. Oh yeah, I'll never. There's just some things that I know you guys get left out of it. Most of them you don't. You won't be left out of this one. Boo to you. So we're going to double map the fronts. We're going to do our waterfalls. I'm not going to do the backs. The back, I use just my white 65-pound matting cardstock. And that, let's see, your waterfalls are 4.5 by 6.5. So you'll cut it 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. And if you want to do that, then that's how I cut all my whites. Okay. Vicki, it'll be the one we just did. So, and if you don't want this one, you just let me know. But we have we ordered enough so that we could have new subscriptions with it because it's so cute. So yes, it will be this one, and it will go out in the morning. Okay, so you'd cut your white, 12 of them, 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. Like I said, for the video, I won't. So what I'm going to do now is just cut all of our pieces. This one is double matted, and you'll see why. The 4 by 6 was just too small. Okay, so let's get all of our papers cut, inked, and then we'll put them on our waterfall, decorate the sides, and do our cute decorations on the insides. So the first things I want to start with are my cut aparts, the 4 by 6s with the, oh, don't tell me. Oh, there they are. With the graphics on the front. And look, I love this on the back. Okay, so Boo to You is going to be our horizontal and vertical. No, horizontal, vertical. Yeah, vertical, I put Ghostly Greetings. And then we're going to use, hopefully I won't mess it up this time. So let's just go ahead and cut. I want to cut these apart. You'll see why. Okay, these little guys, I'll just set at the top. And I'm going to cut these 2 apart for our vertical. And this will be the cover, same as G-45s. This will be the back. Hopefully I won't mess them up this time. Okay, so I'm going to just put those aside. And then we're going to cut apart the two 4x6 that are horizontal. Nikki, hello. Sorry I started early. We just got so much to do today. I had to. So I chose the Boo to You and then this one. But you know what? You guys, I think I want the two greens together this time. So I'm going to show you both. This was the original, and I'll go back and show you. And this is the one G-45 used, and we are going to back them. They're not big enough. And then, but I like this one and Ghostly Greetings, and then you're going to use the back. Okay. I know that back's cute too. So I'm going to do these two. So we're going to mat the backs. This one has the bats in the back. This one has the orange like we used on the cover. And I'll still show you the decorating, which is just, I put the ephemera hat here. So we're going to cut, you'll cut your orange if you're doing that one. I'm going to cut, let's see here. I think I'm going to cut two bats. One for the vertical and one for the horizontal, maybe, because I don't want to cut this. See, I have the same problems as you guys. Actually, that would be cute. It would have to go that way. And the bats, because the bats are on the back of, isn't it on the back of one of our cut aparts? Okay, guys, where's the bat? It's on the back. It's gotta be. I put it on the other side. Here it is. And when you do it for the vertical, it is the wrong way. So be prepared for that. And then, because I added the silver, we could also do that, but it's too small. So we're just playing a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to stick with this one that G-45 used. As you can see, your bats will be going the wrong direction, but it doesn't really show. And we're going to cut these two the correct size, which I know I love the silver too. I could use another sheet. But I also want to, well, it would be the same measurements. So in our packages, you get 5 sheets, and they're only $4.99, you guys. So if you're cutting your bats, you're going to cut it 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. Okay, and that will be the same size for both cut aparts, that very first sheet. So now you get to see my camera. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one at, I'm going to use the silver. 8, 9. So I'm going to cut my 4 3/8 first. And 4 3/8. So I'm going to use it on both sides instead of the cardstock here. My cutter's weird. I have to cut the whole number and then take an 1/8 off. So Otherwise, I would have cut my orange. If you're doing the instructions, you've got those. You'd cut your orange and then your Boo to You. Or I was going to use this one since I'm changing here in midstream from this one, guys, to the green. But you'll have to cut it the way it goes. This one you'll use the orange that we used on the cover. You know what? It looked, when I did the album, that's why I ran to this while I was working at the store yesterday. I thought, you know what? It looked flat. It really did look flat. Okay, I'm just going to get these cover pieces. This one, you don't, did I double? Yes, we are going to have to double mat. So actually, I'm going to use those because and that one's going to go in the front. I'm going to use the bats. And they used a solid orange with the pumpkins on your instruction sheet. And remember, we want, this is where I got mixed up before and ended up putting the wrong thing down. Okay. So these two are going to still need these because that last waterfall, well, it's bigger than the 4x6. So let's cut these at 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. So I'm going to change this so it will actually, my bats will go. See, that was what was on the cover in your instructions. Perfect. So those two will go together, and then these two will go together the right direction. And it needs to be the 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. And then you have those journaling spots, which I really like. I like those postcards. Remember when they used to come in the whole pack? Oh my gosh. I used those. I even put them on, I made cards out of them really quick. You could make a card and pop them on there. And then they stopped making those, but they did start making the chipboard and ephemera. So I guess we don't get to have it all, right? Even though we think we need it. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's mat these, and then we're going to cut the rest of our waterfall pieces. But you could still purchase extra single sheets and make your cards. Remember, it likes to move because it's a slippery surface. And I always keep one of these shop towels because it cleans up on these things really well. It kind of polishes it. Heaven forbid the dogs woke up at 5:30 this morning. You'd think they're over here dying. Can you guys hear them? They're like You know what? I hope I come back in my next life as a beagle. And all I have to do is eat, sleep, and play ball. Okay, that's going to be the first page of my waterfall. Now we want to go ahead and cut. Oh no, we want to go ahead and map these so that everything's ready to go. We'll cut our other pieces. And like I mentioned, I just won't cut my white matting on camera, 4 3/8 by 6 3/8, but I will do that later. Okay, because now how much flatter it is when you burnish it well. Okay, we need to cut 4, 5 more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to cut one that goes under the back waterfall. But we need to measure. We at least know the next 4 are all the same size. So first I'm going to start with some of the pieces that we've already cut. And I used this on the vertical one. So I've got my 2 piles. Again, they're going to be 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. And if you have the G-45 instruction sheet that came in the kit, it shows you how to cut the papers. Again, I'm not using the same papers, so I don't want to get you guys confused. And then I used the Boo one, that I cut wrong, so I'm looking for it real quick so I can. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it. And 4 3/8 because I didn't use it on the other one. And then 6 3/8. So that's going to be horizontal, vertical. And I don't think I have a big enough piece for that, but you'll have 2. I'm just looking. I don't. But I have these 2. And I need one of these. And this one is your blood red pattern. And it's going to go in the horizontal. And I had the orange in the horizontal, but because it's not big enough, I'm going to use the green, since I'm using a green cut apart. Oh, he goes over there. So my first one will be this one, then my ghost, then my green, and I need to cut one from the floral, which is this one, the orange. And then 4 3/8. See, get in the habit of throwing those away. They go right in my garbage. So we need a total of 6. 3, and then 4, and then 5, and 6. And for the back, we'll measure. So that will be the horizontal. Now for my vertical, I'll start with this one. And again, I had the orange. Oh, I'll still use the orange that we used on the cover. And I just am making sure I don't cut into a brand new one when I still had scraps, but I don't think we do. Because I always end up making me such a nice little pile of paper. So this one is going to be, whoops, we're going to actually use the other side. It'll be vertical. So 4 3/8. And 6 3/8. So we've got our green, the orange, oh, we need to cut a green. I'll use the solid green this time. Diane, see, those are the ones I get in the habit of throwing away. And then you don't clean them up after. 2. We got 3. Change this one up a little. And my last one I cut was this guy. So let's see if he's long enough. He's not. So I'm just going to go ahead, because it's already vertical. If you want to cut into another one with this one, I'm going to go ahead and use this piece since it is ready to go. Four, 5, and 6. Okay, we're ready. And then we'll measure that last piece after we get these down and double check its size. Okay, we are ready to go. Let's grab our book. Oh, it's underneath. I was going to say, okay, guys, what did I do with my book? Okay, once again, if you have one of the albums from the store that I had to make for you, just remove the backing from your tape. I put notes on them if you picked them up at the store, but I know some of you haven't worked with square tape before. Okay, so put a spell on you. Will go down first. I have a feeling I didn't cut that. Because it matches side to side. I did not. Let me see something here. 4 3/8. I did that one. I didn't this one, but that's okay. Okay. And then I definitely will put the white because it needs it. But I just won't do it on camera. And then we'll do the little strips here. And then the floral. But decorate yours how you like, with what papers you like, or you might just be following their instructions. Okay, and then our postcard. And those are super fun. So great spot to put your date, the year, or you still can put a picture on top if you want that room. Okay. Then for the back, so what I did is I measured it because these ones are different. So it looks like it's 4 3/4, but I want to keep to the size of my waterfall. So I'll go 4 5/8 by the 6 3/8. Let's see. Basically, I'm just going to see what I have. And oh, this is the same one that I used. So we'll cut that at 6 3/8 and then 4 5/8. So see, it is a little different size than your waterfall. And I did put a 3x4 white, and I'll show you that again, photo spot. And that one I'll probably put down because I did do the rub-ons. And what on earth was that? Actually, I should have cut it. If you haven't cut yours, just cut it 6 1/2. But that's fine. I forgot because I'm going to piece that in. So do keep it 6 1/2, the size of your waterfall, not the matting size. But if you've already cut it, that's okay too, because it'll still be fine. It's just I'm putting a strip of cardstock. So if you're building this or you haven't and you want to make your own album first, don't put your waterfall down until you mat the page. And I do tell you that in the video, because or you can leave it. You don't even have to if you don't want to, but I do. Okay, now let's do the left hand or the right hand side, which is vertical. Same thing, you got to remove that first. Well, I'm going to see if I cut this correctly. I may have to trim it. Oh, no, this one I did right. That one I didn't take the 1/8 of an inch off. Okay, let's put him on the back. Whoops. You guys still with me? Things got out of place. I always do that. And then green. No, green's the last one. And the pumpkins. Pumpkin would have been the last one, but I'm going to change it. Okay. Actually, that's better. I can see it. Hi, Pat. How you doing? I didn't know you was there. Did you order the album kit or just the paper? Because the paper is really cool. Well, either way, you get the paper. So Well, I'm not sure if you have your kit already, Pat. Your instructions are a little different, just so you know. You're going to have a lot of paper left over with their instructions. A lot. That's why I'm like, no. For me, I have to mat. And this one was not cut correctly. I didn't take the length off, so we're going to put the green down. Then I'll trim that one, and we'll put that one next. I got to watch that I trim my length because it's such a minute amount. Okay. Now I got to wash my cutter again, but that's okay. Well, I think this was the place I was going to put this in anyway. Okay, now let's measure this one. This one I'll leave at 6.5, and it's, see how that one's going to be 4.5 by 6.5. And what did I put down? Oh, I used the cute stripe. But I'm going to have to cut the new one. It's this side, I believe. Nope. That's none of those. Okay, I know it's the one with the pumpkins. Let's get things put together a little better. There it is. And it is called Sit for a Spell. Now it's directional, it's the vertical directional. So we'll cut the 4.5 and then 6.5, if that's what yours measures. Well, you guys are hanging out good with me. Or you're doing the usual. You get the camera going, and then you're in your room doing other things. And I don't blame you because I do that too. Okay. Now this one I kept the same width as my waterfall. Hell yeah, because I got up so early this morning. It's going to be coffee time when I'm done here. Now, see, if we were all together, we could bring each other coffee and tea and donuts and all that good stuff when you crop. Okay, I'll do the backs later, but right now I just want to show you. So I did the inside of these guys, and I did them at 3/8 of an inch by the 6 3/8, and I just chose some of my scraps. So nothing, nothing special. I mean, you can use, I used the bats on it before, and then I used the black with the wording, which was your coordinating solids that I believe we cut it the first time to map the back of our cover. But use whatever you have. I don't usually, I know that, oh, and I know, Nikki, it was not too long ago we were doing that. I can't think about it. Okay, 1/2 inch. So you're going to want, I believe, how many? 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to do one with you on camera because we want to decorate. But I did, so you'll cut 10, and you can cut. Oh, you'll be doing that at the event, Diane. And that's what I did here. But make sure you cut the correct length, which is 6 3/8. Then like I said, you can choose whatever you like. And then you'll have your white cardstock. I don't need these all the time because they're little. And I end up with more of the dark ink on my fingers than I do the paper. But I like to do that because it gives it a finished look. So on this one, like I said, I use the coordinating, which if in the kit you'll have your black, and I use the words. Don't need it back there. And then on this one, I use the bats. So I'll probably do the same thing on this one. Oh, this little guy. So I'm going to cut a piece of white here so that we can put the, this is all rub on, and it's 3 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to cut a piece of white, and then we're going to also do these. And I'm going to use like the spider greens. Since I already cut into this one, I'm just going to use that one. And then again, you'll want to cut 10 of the white if you're going to do the back. This one I did 3 1/4 by 4, just a little photo spot. And actually, I'll probably do one on the vertical. And I just put that off to the side. Okay, for your closures, I don't know what size the ones are on the pre-mates. Mine are going to be 1 by 4 1/2. Yeah. Yep. So I need to cut 4. Before I used the orange because I had used the pumpkin, but I didn't use the pumpkin. So I'm going to use green on both of them. And I'll need 4 at 1 by 4 3/8. And that one turned out going the right direction, so that's good. Oh, and I'm just going to have to live with the spider being there. He'll go on the back. I'll put the bat on the front. Oh, no, he's got to go on the back. I'm not a spider person. Okay, and if you, like I said, if you made yours, and so if you had done a decorative corner, go ahead and you can get those punched. Okay, but you got to remember, let's see, to check your directional for the back. Well, good morning. I love when our little fairy just pops in on our shows. How are you this morning? I would use the back side, but it was the cut apart, so it doesn't look right. Okay, down they go. Just make sure that's going to lay flat when you get around the magnet. Okay, it's the cutest thing. I don't know. You probably can't hear it. But Homer, when he sleeps, he's such a happy little guy, and I just know it's because he's happy. But he's wagging his tail in his sleep, but he's banging my desk, and I always know it's Homer because he's the only one that does it. He's like that kid that laughs in his sleep, but his tail goes 100 miles an hour. But he had a rough day yesterday, but he's doing so good today. Okay, we're done with the matting. Now I want to show you what I did to these inside pieces because they're just too bare. We knew that this spine is 1 inch, so it's probably not long enough now. I had used this on the inside, but hey, you're going to notice you got lots of paper left. Oh, here we go. our album cover is 7.5. Oh, and my stripes were going the opposite direction, so I'm going to be able to go the right direction. And so I'm going to just make it a hair short of 1 by 7 3/8. For right there. Now I want to do the same thing over here on this 2 sides. Again, when I make this album again, before I put down my implements, I will mat those spots. But we didn't on camera because I didn't have, well, I did, but I didn't think about it. That's why, guys. So this side, mine measures 1/2. Measure yours. One side measures 1/2, and one side measures about 5/8. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this to 7 3/8, and then I'm going to cut this at 3/8. I go just a hair over. I always do. And then I'm going to just cut the next piece at a full 1/2 inch because it was 5/8 of an inch. Whoops. So my smaller piece will go here. And you might have to trim a little bit off because if you want it to match the matting, remember our matting was 7 3/8, so we should have gone 7 1/4. So I just took a little bit off. Much better. And then this side. Okay, now we're going to have a little bit more finished look, but I also used my scraps, which I'll show you are border strips, and I did the inside. Now it does look, it could look a little bit busy to you. I'll show you my finished one, but I just didn't want all of the unfinished cardstock showing like that. So like I said, I will make more of these because it's a nice quick album when somebody, you know, comes up and says, hey, could you do this? Mostly a family member. I'm like, no. But now I'll say, yes, I can make you something like this because I know I can get it done quick. But, or I will make the album and you go mat it. You would think my family would have lots of practice, right? No. It's, Mom, do you have something made I can give to them for a gift? Oh, good heavens. Make your own. And like my dogs, I have this attachment disorder. Once I make it, I don't want to give it away. And I got to quit. That's something I got to get over. I don't know why. And I've given away a lot of albums of my one-of-a-kinds that I never did tutorials. And now I'm really kicking myself because I did some wedding ones for our neighbors in the past and family Christmas. And I'm like, why didn't I do a tutorial on those? And so I think that's why I have this attachment disorder of giving them away now. Okay, now see, that gives it a little more finished look. And then on the inside, what I did, I measured and I took these border strip pieces and we're going to make a frame. Now we already cut them, so this one just may not even match, guys. It just depends on what I do here, and I'll show you because I cut pieces and parts. This one came on the side, and then I cut the second one to fit down here, and the green went up here. So it's really not hard. I know. Oh, Diane, see, they're mine too. I licked them. They're mine. I don't want to give them away, but I end up giving some away. Okay, when I measure this, I'm going to go half inch. A half inch will be good. And I'm going to use the tricks and treats, but at first I'm going to just cut this apart. And we're going to have some of the color showing. So I'm going to put my ruler on. My wording is 1/4 of an inch. So for 1/2 inch, I am going to have to take some of, for this album, everyone comes out a little bit different. And that's why from now on, I will mat before I put this down. And I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to cut my 1/2 inch. No, I'm not, because I don't like to cut that way. I like to cut this way. Oh, that looks pretty good. Then this little guy that's going to go along the side, looks like it's 1/4 of an inch. Will do. Or I'm going to go 1/16 of an inch over the 1/4. No, I'm not, because I don't want to. Oh, what did I just do? Well, we're not using that one. It's going to be a little different. See, I told you. Sometimes things are just a little different. That was an oops. I don't know why I did that. Okay. Hair over 1/4. Seven 3/8. Okay, 7 3/8. And you know what? Don't you just love that our kids come in and tell us what we should do with our stuff? Now, could you imagine? Can you imagine us telling them what to do with their stuff? Oh, goodness. So see, that will go there. And then across the top. We don't even have to use a border strip. I definitely want the green on the other side. And since I didn't mat it, I do want something a little different. This little guy is definitely going on the other side, so I'm not going to cut that. Oh. Okay. So I've already got these saved, and I've already used it. So I just need a little bit, and I want the orange floral. Yeah, that's really small, so I'm just going to cut 1/4 of an inch. Then I'll save the rest of that cover sheet. 7 3/8. Yeah, this video is a little bit longer, but we wanted to get it done. Now, after I do this, I'll just show you the other side. But this one, I did the frame. So if you're following along, with what we created on. So actually, it's only going to be like a hair over an eighth. If you were following little celebrations, I made some frames. And that's exactly what I'll do here. Well, I was going to. But see, this is a lot smaller. So this time I'm not going to. But if you need to know how to do a frame, then you're going to want to watch my last part of little celebrations. For this, I'm actually just going to cut it to fit in the center because it's too small. But next time, the ideal is to just do the matting before you put down the waterfall. Okay. So I'm going to put these two guys down on the sides. Then I'm going to measure the inside, cut that, and just strip it. And no mitering of my corners. It'll just be the strip. And then that's how I'll do the opposite side. Then we'll decorate. So if you were going to mat, you would cut 7 3/8 by 7 3/8 and then build your waterfall on that mat. So I'm going to turn that so the finished edge is to the outside, matching the top and the bottom. And then, whoops, in between is where I'll get the measurement. In between the two strips, (6 5/8). Okay, now we got rid of the solid cardstock. And then that's what I did over here. So I think I'll just reuse this because it's actually the perfect size, just in the length. Other than that, I cut another one of, well, that one I just wrecked. I cut it and then measured it to fit. But I won't do that again because I don't want to waste another one. And then I'll just trim this and straighten it out to that edge. There we go. Mine is going to be different than yours. This was what, 1/4 of an inch. You'll need to measure that space down there. And then I'm just going to push it right up to the the matting. Just so it didn't overlap. Like I said, this isn't, I mean, it looks okay, but it's not my favorite way. Next time we'll mat everything. And then at the top is where I put the spiders. Oh, thank you. And this one is going to be a 1/2 inch. I didn't know what to do. And I thought, I'm not going to go too crazy. Because she hand paints, and I didn't have time to sit there yesterday. Okay, 7 3/8. No, this is our shorter one. It's 7 1/4. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go ahead and ink the edge. And then that's the last piece of this matting. And you know, you can also use all one color if you like. So it does look more like a matting. But I thought, no, why? We're going to make it Halloween all the way. Okay, there's the orange one. Oh, we'll call this the orange one because I used a different cut apart. I used the orange one and then the green one. And let's decorate. Okay, we got that done. Put your white on the backs. And then I'm just, oh, that just needs to go down here. And now we can get out some fun stuff. And I will pop a few things up on foam. I'm going to use the Barely Art Glue cubbies because I really do like these. But you guys, look, they've got some super thick ones in here. So you do want to be careful of the super thick ones. You've got two that aren't quite as thick. Look at how thick those are compared to these. I mean, they're bigger than the round ones I put in your kits, but I'm going to use the others. So we want to get out the fun stuff, our ephemera pack. And our rub-ons, because that's what came in the kit. Okay. They're on the floor. And you got to have a tray. So what I'm doing is just some of the bigger ones. They're pretty easy to find. But okay, I'm going to start on the inside pocket, and I used a tree. Use the white pumpkin. And then we use the 3 pumpkins. They're going to hang out of the tree. And then I used the word Obats. So again, you'll see that I used it in a different place than your kit. Your Obats is green. And you know what? I hope this wasn't a kit that I had gotten into when I was playing with my papers. And I think it is. Okay. Well, I will have to show you then where I put it. Oh, because I've already taken some things out. Well, you wouldn't know it. Oh, let me tell the vet how Homer is. Isn't that awesome? The vet messages to see how he is. Okay. So I may just have to do a few different things, which is okay. I'll show you the original. That's the small ghost. I used a bigger ghost. He's bigger. I'm just going to double check that I don't have one more pack. I don't. And it's no longer available. Okay. So, okay. I don't think it's okay. This one is our bigger ghost, but I don't have the bigger ghost and I don't have Obats. But I did not use Ghostly Greetings on the original. So I'm going to see. Nope, I used him on the back. So we don't want to use that anyway. Okay, well, we can do Sit a Spell. That will be cute. And we're going to have to use a smaller ghost, but you don't have to use a smaller ghost. Just me. I must use it on the box that we made. So we'll just use him. And let's lay everything down. The tree, I did put up on foam tape. Put him aside for a minute. Yeah, I decided I need to get some foam strips because to sit there and pop everything on one by one, the little squares sometimes is a pain. And I know you guys have better things to do, but I do want some support on these branches. Again, these are still pretty thick. Wow. Even though these are the thinner ones. So that's the one thing, if you purchase these from Barely Art Glue, just remember they're pretty thick. They're not little. But to put one in here is just fine on the front cover. You should have plenty of room. We won't use them. We only use a little bit on a moon. So I'll get out some different ones. And in all reality, I should not have put it on this one. Let's see if I can pull it off. Yes. This one and this little guy doesn't need one. And I should have checked first. He does. Okay. This one's fine here. Bring it up here. And little ghosty should have gone down first. But we have room. Don't do his head because it's going to stick over the top. Especially if you're doing the big one. Put it down first. I should have done that. Then my pumpkin. So I just need a piece here on the outside for support. The rest is going to sit on the tree. Just determine down here at the bottom. Then I'll just add Sit for a Spell and our pumpkins. But first, let's put those in the tree. So we'll need some foam on the pumpkins, and then looks like that's going to fit just fine, or you can use Obats. So down here on these pumpkins, we need to have some support. Make sure it's not too far down. Nope. Yes, you do hear them snoring. Because, you know, they live here rent-free, and their life is so difficult. And Wilbur always snores. He needs a doggy CPAP. And sit for a spell. Now, if you're really ambitious and you are using some of the silver, it's not that I'm ambitious. It's just, I know we've been on for 2 hours and 24 minutes, and I'm so sorry, but we have to do it. And then we'll be done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just doing a wiggle waggy type cutting because you want it to match. Okay, I am going to throw some ink on there. Round that off a little bit. And remember in the beginning when I told you we were going to use that one or that one, we'll know when we get there. Oh, here we go. No, we'll have to cut the new one. So I did cut the 6x6s apart. I think they're called 6x6s. They called it No Tricks. Oh, I took the borders off. Down to the black. And we're just going to cut them all apart because we use it on the front of the pocket here in a minute. So go ahead and just cut them apart down the center. You don't want to cut them apart. And then because you can score them, what I did is I just fold it in half so I can get a better, and then I trimmed if needed, but that looks like it's going to be pretty good. Or you can score it, but I don't. I don't like to really score this paper too much. I'll do a better job of doing that, but I'll ink them up. And then I popped it in the pocket. Okay, and then that way you have some more room for photos. And then the second one that we just cut, same thing. Oops. Okay, now this one, because I'm going to glue it down. And on the original album, I used this side, which I'm going to do again. But if you want, you can use the orange and then have it open this way. Okay. I'm kind of sticking with the green theme. Oh, Diane, you get to play. Oh, yeah. I love it. So I'm just going to bring this to the left a little bit. I can't wait. I've got a stack of blue to play with. Oh, I cannot wait. And so I'm going to pop that to the left. It's not centered. I just left a row of that showing. Isn't that blue just so pretty? I thought that would go good with the Graphic 45 Christmas one. Okay, now on the inside, I did cut a piece of white. And I'll do that now. And it's 5 by 5. And I'm just using the 65-pound cardstock. And I cut that because I wanted a white photo mat, and I wanted some weight, and I also wanted to use the rub-ons. We should have put that down first. Or you can journal. I know I've seen a lot of tutorials where they just use the cardstock as the base for creating things. It drives me nuts. That's why I'm like, I need some weight on this. Yeah, and it's going to help it stay shut. You can also put a 5 by 5 here if you like, but now you're going to notice it's going to close. So I want to take on the front, I took the moon and I popped him up. Love the moon. And then I took our skeleton riding in the sky. So he's going to go down flat. And I have it sticking over the edge. And then I put the moon on top with a little bit of foam tape. So I'm just going to do our skeleton part here. Whoops. And a little bit of his legs so we don't tear them. Now I'm going to do all of his little leg here. Oh, but not the outside one. And if you want to make sure he's super secure, you could put him all on, but I wanted some sticking over. And that's going to sit on top, and those foam dots are going to be too thick. So I'm going to get my smaller ones. I do too. And I love the speckle. We have the white speckle tone that's linen. I love that because it's not so stark white. It has some personality there. Okay, pop my moon up. Then I'm going to take the rub-ons. Well, you know, let's come back and we'll do all the rub-ons in one spot. Because I know I'm keeping you guys. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Now this I'm popping up. Whoops. And this I'm going to pop up. Well, everything came with me. And this is what's going to fit in between there. So I'm going to cut those dots off the bottom. Fold in half. Well, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. I'll do all the inking there. And so it's going to fit behind there. So on this, I only add, I know the dogs are like, Mom, you've been live. Let's see. Because I want the bottom. Because I'm using it mostly for the placeholder here. So I want a little spot. That would be Charlotte. Like I said, we'll have a contest one day where you guys have to recognize the barks. Now you've got your holes here. And so I do have it overlapping just a little bit. Actually, we should have put one up there, but that's okay. So I pop that inside of there. Okay, off to our waterfall. Now if you're using the orange card, I used a witch's hat, but because I'm using a skeleton here, and then this is the same one I used over here. So I want to use something, well, he is wearing a witch's hat. I only have a big one. So I use the smaller of the two witches' hats. That's kind of cool. Just need to make sure. No, I didn't put it on the cover. Okay, so I'm going to use this candle here. This pumpkin here. And then I did add a few things, which I don't know if we have in here. I took a hand, and that's on your instruction sheets. Then I, on the white, did some rub-ons. So those you can just kind of do as you like. I said they're nice and flat. You still can put a photo. I put a pumpkin here and a flower. So I kind of went every other one. And let me see if I have, I don't know if I have the hand. Oh, I have that though. No spot. Oh, I do have the hand from this pack. And so I might even have that orange pumpkin, but if not, I'll just use, oh, here we do. I do. I have the orange, the hand, and then a white rose. I know I did not organize these very well because I just dumped them. But we don't have like a ton. So it looks like I may have used the white rose. So we can use that. So on this page, we'll have the flower sticking off the page. We will not put that down till there's no glue here. That one I did not. I put the pumpkin, kind of staggered them. So I'll only add pumpkin to the quarter half and his stem and let him stick out the bottom. I need to use my tip. I'm getting too much glue on stuff. And then on the other one, I had a white rose, but I'm going to use the orange floral and just a little bit of glue over on the edge. Okay, and then the same over here. Oh, so I had used the pumpkin. Let's use, this is what I used on my original one. Just some glue on the edge and it's stuck over. And we'll skip one and make sure you don't have it hanging too far over, of course. So this one I'll put in the center. And then I did have a white rose, but like I mentioned, I don't have any more of those. Because I obviously did use this when we made our box. So how about we take a broom? And then I'll just add my adhesive on the broom part a little bit so I can still pop a photo under, because it doesn't have to be a rose. But for those of you that have a brand new pack and want to do the same, so I put tombstone, and then this is a rub-on the white. And I did a rub-on every other page. That's that black pumpkin. I loved him. And like I said, these are very satiny. They feel, there's the white rose. Oh, I didn't put one there. They are, I put it here, a satin, so they're not sticky or anything. They're really nice. Okay, now we can go back and do our rub-ons. Just seems like I had to do, oh, here it is. I did this. Okay, so now we're gonna get out those rub-ons. Still gonna want this for the cover. I just threw the stick in the garbage. For me, it didn't work well. Kept the moon intact. Oh, I got it over the edge. Of course I did. No, I didn't. It just got bent. These do take a little bit more rubbing though. And you'll see them start coming up. It's really cool. Well, the backing is separating. The shadowing is what I had the hardest time with. And then on this side, I took the larger tombstone. Actually, it wasn't that one. It was Boo to You. The larger tombstone. And I probably do not have it. So I'm just going to show you what I had used. Okay, so your tombstone and your candle and your ghost and your skeleton, but I already used him. Your skeleton is all of your ephemera pieces. And before we put those down, we do want to do the rub-on because we put everything on top of that. And for the rub-on, I used this whole thing. This is the one I used on the white cardstock on the vertical. Sorry, I do have to check because I haven't been watching if the store has been messaging me. Okay, so that's the other thing about these rub-ons with G-45 is how bright they are. They're, oh, see, that one just wants to come off. They're very vivid in color. Look how pretty it is, and it's bright. That's the cool thing that I really like. Okay, little skeleton. I used our little guy. You got to punch some of him out. Some of his innards are still intact. So we needed him. Going to be back there behind the tombstone. Now the glue on the tombstone will hold him down. Then that's where I had the little ghost. I just laid him on top, and the little the candle light. And I could go back. No, it's too big. But I did use those. So we used this when we made the box. That's okay, because I have another flower I can use just without the candle. And then I'll see what's left at the end. And if I want to put anything there. Okay, that's that one. We've done the back, we've done the inside. You'll just do your rub-ons where you want. And then when you close this is where I put this. Now I know it doesn't, it's not like it shows a lot, but I really liked it because it was shadowy. And then I ended up adding, so let's put this down. I just put this kind of across the top. And then I ended up adding these ghosts. I put them down the side. There it is. I said the shadowing, it takes a little bit. Hi, Denise. Well, thank you. Again, this way you have two versions, and then you can do like I did and just make it your own. So you can kind of see it, like the moon up there. And then I did, like I said, I added the ghost, but I won't right now because we are going to put the cover on, decorate that, and then we can all get back to work. Okay, we already created, let me reshape this a little bit because I've been laying on it, basically working. Don't do that if you've got the pre-made. Hello, Denise. I use Boo to You, and we talked about, I already used all my pieces, so I don't think I have a Boo to You. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I have the words left. Oh, but I don't want to reuse the same words. Let me see. This is what I had. This is what I had left over for making this, you guys. So, I mean, look at this. There's a ton. Oh, and isn't that so pretty? And there are some pretty pieces. So this is everything that had been left over. If the broom fits. And I don't think we use this in the book. This is what all was left over. Tons of it. I'll end up just putting it together. And I did not use If the Broom Fits. Okay. So I'm going to use If the Broom Fits. Now we already prepared this. And on this one, I did use my biggest foam dots. But now that I've got, I went and grabbed these, the shadow cubbies. But I'm telling you, the extra tall ones, they're not kidding. They're extra, extra tall. Look at that. But I love it for a cover like this. And I take off at least 2 rows. And I'm going to put it on the chipboard that we put there, which it almost fits. And it is nice and tall because I want my cover to pop. I'll just start putting my scraps in the center for support. Yes, we actually made the cover last week. So on my YouTube, under live, go to the lives tab. You will find the video for that. You know what I use, guys? I forgot I used my huge roll on this one, but I wanted to use these and pop it up more. But these aren't as sticky, but that's okay. But we still need some center support. Yeah, we had to remake. We had to remake the album that came in the kit because I had to remake some for our store customers. I'll just put this down here at the bottom. I forgot. I have my great big, that huge 4-inch roll, and I need to get more of those in when they're available because I just popped it on the back. But man, these are nice and tall. These are a good 3/8 of an inch. I really need to look. They are like putting 2 or 3 together. But it'll pop for sure. Sorry, this is the boring part. I really didn't think it would take us this long. But hey, we did it in 3 hours. Okay, let's grab our cover. Make sure it's going the right direction. Another reason I add glue. Yeah, that's up there. Let me tell you, that's quite a gap, but I like it. I like my covers to pop. Oops. And see, Boo to You is there, and that Boo to You is going to be in yours. It's not mine because I don't have that one. Now, I'm not going to pop this one up as far. And I want my own dots. Much as I'm loving those Barely Art glue ones, the other ones just aren't big enough for me. Like these round ones. It's funny how we get used to our own stuff that we've been using. So if the broom fits, which yes, Boo to You fits better, but that's okay. And then I did pick out some of the bats, and I do have them. So I took a big one and I just took a small one, and I think they did too. And then we've got, see, these are the thick ones though, but they're still too big. Again, I like my little ones for this. or you can cut your bigger ones. Or you can just put them down flat. But this will give some dimension. So even my little one, I'm going to cut. I still am going to add some ribbon. I meant to grab the tulle from, we have a tulle at the store on our ribbon rack, and I meant to grab some tulle to come along here. So when I do get to doing that, I will show that to you. But that's it, guys. We are done. So this is the one I use silver on, the silver screen. It's just the mirror paper at the store. And for those of you just trying, and so you can definitely see if you like your stuff up higher. Man, that's a lot. That's the Barely Art cubbies. And you get extra tall. Yeah, the extra tall is 1/4 inch. And the tall is 1/8 of an inch. And you get 2 of each. Two strips, and so you get 4 altogether. But so that we added, I'll still go in. I've got a little bit more work to do. And you know, you could even put those 5x5 if you want photo mats in there, like we did here. And then you could also do rub-ons. But after I got done playing with the rub-ons, I had none left. After putting it on the white. And then our ghostly greetings. So the waterfall's a little different than the first one, and I don't have the white yet. And that's the brown card, the velvet brown cardstock, and I think it looks just fine with it. And then our vertical. So if you're looking for the tutorial, it is on my YouTube under the live tab. And if you want to make your own album, because yeah, we don't have any more kits. Oh, when you close it, the page needs to lay over the waterfalls, because there's a magnet on that side. Okay, guys, and we're done. Well, we did it in 3 hours. Sorry it took so long, but it's done, and now you've got a fun album for Halloween that really won't take you 3 hours when you're not on the video talking, because I did this one a lot faster. And then the original one, the walkthrough will be at the beginning, and you'll see I used more of what G-45 had used on their instruction sheets. Okay, and if you have any questions, just holler at us over on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations on Facebook. And please be sure to share and like the video so that it stays up there in the algorithm so everybody can find it that would like to remake this. But you can also go to the Graphic 45 YouTube where they did the tutorial. It is different. A lot was left plain, but even after this, okay, I've already done, and I'm going to put some more in here. This is the ephemera left from 2 projects. Remember, I did the box, and I added it to my eerie things. This is all the ephemera left from my first album, so I'm just going to combine them because I've already dumped them on the. But there is a ton of ephemera left over from that pack. I can make another one. With now that I have had with 4 sheets, you could make 2, and then you could also make something smaller. But we have tons of paper left over. So again, be sure to like, even share the video, please, so that we can make sure everybody can make the cute Ghostly Greetings album. And thanks for watching, guys. I will not be live anymore this week because Simple Stories is big event is in town. And we have 3 classes over at the store in West Haven. So if you're local, and we are redoing so if you're watching this, the yard sale on Saturday. So if you're local and you want to come out to the yard sale or have a table, let me know. We'll get you set up. But I won't be live the rest of the week because I'll be at the store. But we'll probably go live from the store so you can see some of your friends that are in town. And but be ready. We'll be live next week, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.